taking the views of niqab-wearing women seriously. As I have noted, I do not make far-reaching claims about the representativeness of my 9 interviews with niqab-wearing women, but I would also not be quick to dismiss the many commonalities between my observations and those of other researchers in Canada and 5 other countries. As one scholar put it, the empirical research suggests that they, niqab-wearing women, make this choice not because they are being told to do so by men, but because they are modern, emancipated women who make up their own minds about what they wear and how they present themselves in public. Although the empirical evidence suggests that most women actually choose to wear the face veil and that they do so as an ethically guided bodily practice in order to cultivate piety and submission under God's authority, such interpretations often find little resonance, leaving niqab-wearing women inaudible. The reluctance to take the views of niqab-wearing women seriously may stem from the belief that there is a degree of self-selection among the participants of the empirical studies, in that liberated women are more likely to participate. Alternatively, some may be of the view that veil wearers, aware of the relevance of such research in a charged political climate, may have tailored their responses accordingly. Still others may argue that while not deliberately trying to mislead, niqab-wearing women have internalized their own subjugation and are suffering from false consciousness. The first 2 critiques, that these women's views are possibly unrepresentative or misleading, is certainly valid, but can perhaps be directed against much interview-based research. In each of the research contexts, ethical attempts were made to reach out to as many women as possible, and I have pointed to the mostly similar and occasionally contradictive findings in the various studies conducted. In my interviews, I was surprised that several of the interviewees were actually unaware of some of the well-known legal controversies surrounding the niqab in Canada. They were very aware that some people condemned wearing the niqab, but they did not know the details of the various attempts to prohibit the niqab, suggesting an improbability that they were intentionally attempting to mislead. Certainly, there were no indications of fraud. The affiants in the Bill 62 constitutional challenge, whose opinions I have occasionally referred to, were obviously aware of the implications of their perspectives, as all litigants in a lawsuit would be. However, like all affiants, they swore their testimony under penalty of perjury, and there would be no reason to question their veracity over other affiants generally. The final critique relating to false consciousness essentially refuses to take the views of niqab-wearing women on their merits. As the prominent French feminist Elisabeth Batinder stated, when I hear women explaining that the full veil makes them feel good and protected, I believe that what they say is true, but I think these women are very sick, and I do not think we may have to determine ourselves according to their pathology. This reliance on the language of sickness and mental illness to dismiss niqab-wearing women's perspective speaks to the question raised a long time ago by Spivak, not whether the subaltern can speak, but whether she is heard. Laurie Beeman has traced the ways in which religious women's agency is scrutinized in ways that other people's views would not be. There is a need to problematize this special treatment, as it only authorizes the West to define, and niqab-wearing women remain contained and imprisoned within a particular narrative and fiction. Discarding or failing to seriously engage with the expressed opinions and beliefs of niqab-wearing women does an injustice to women who have been specifically vilified by several governments. Indeed, the mere fact that there may be doubts about the motives of these women cannot be used to support prohibitions. That would dangerously inhibit their ability to be educated, work, access major public institutions and services, and move about in society as they see fit, free from violence and harassment.